We here.
We are live.
Bolt Bros in the house. Let's go.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So James is on a plane coming back to America. So
Mhm.
he obviously can't make it. We do have a special guest coming in.
That's right. He is coming to America. Yes,
He
that's
is
right.
coming to America. But yes, it's gonna be good. Some good signings, guys. I've been really happy. And I maybe right now, what would you give a grade for the free agent signings and the re-signings back? I mean, right now I would easily say an A. And a lot of people wanted that big splashy player, but I don't think that's the Chargers' MO moving forward. I don't think that's going to
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah, doesn't seem like it. Yep.
I think we are going to get very good players and build in the draft, and I think that's a big part of what the plan is going to be. So
Mhm.
that's partially my take, but again, our special guest should be joining on. So
Yeah.
so should we get into it, Kyle?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Bolt
Okay,
Bros.
let's go.
Let's go.
What's up, Pyramid, man? You watching the Boat Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Charter blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Boat Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Boat Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
Okay. So we got a good show for you guys. Again, special guest should be joining.
Yes, sir.
We'll let you know when they'll be back in the studio since James could not make it. But
Mhm.
let's talk a little bit about what's going on here, guys. I know you guys are throwing out some names. Mekhi Becton is going to be – that's a huge signing.
That is a big one. Yeah.
But
I think that one perfectly capped off the week, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah, I do admit I was hitting that panic button like crazy. The
I know you were. I know you
days.
were.
Yeah, no, you were. Yeah, I was like,
Dude, I heard the stress in your voice. I was like, bro, you need to relax a little bit. You need to take a Quaalude or something.
No.
Dude. I don't know what's going on. I was dying because I kept thinking to myself, like, man, dude, like, chill out, bro. Look, again, I just really believe, guys, in the chat, let me know if I'm completely off on this.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe we're going to go out and get those major signings. I don't think it's going to happen. We'll get one or two big ones. Mekhi Becton's probably the biggest one. And then obviously Najee Harris, probably the other big one. But the problem is, I really believe they want to get good players, good veterans at a good price in free agency.
Yeah.
And then you build in the draft. Those are the guys you really stick with. Those are the guys, like a good example, Joe Alt.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is not going anywhere. He's probably going to retire a Charger if Jim Harbaugh has anything to say about it. So
I hope so.
I'm just saying that I don't believe that's going to happen. And the money we have left over, which I think we have let's see what we have now. 59 is it 59 million? Is that right?
Well, it's probably about
million.
half that in effective cap because we still got to pay like all of the all of the what's it called, like the drafted players and stuff like that too, and also we are gonna have to look at doing Slater's
Rashawn Slater
extension.
Yep.
So it's at most we have about half that,
Yep.
So
correct.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. Hernandez from the Cardinals. I know the other person we were talking about, if you watch my video on Friday, tight end from the Falcons. Why am I drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden? Wow. What's that guy's name? Tight end from the Falcons.
Aaron Hernandez, the murderer?
No, the Falcons.
Oh, Kyle Pitts.
Oh, Pitts. Yes, Pitts.
Well, sorry, I was thinking of Hernandez for that Allen C. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah,
we're talking about the birds here. Oh boy, we're having to go in here. I gotta double my Adderall dose. Apparently, guys. Yeah, Pitts. There we go, guys. Yeah. Well, I was like, why was I having a hard time remembering that? Just so big on the guy.
Some caffeine in this one, so let me just drink that.
Yeah, let me do a bump of cocaine real quick, and we'll get this thing going. Here's the thing, but again, I think we still could trade for Pitts. I think that could happen as well too. But look, I'm just going to say this, guys. Remember, there's three ways that we're going to be building this team up.
Mm-hmm.
Free agency, we're in that right now. The draft, which I think they're really going to be pushing a lot into. I think we have, there's Goddard, Andrews could be good too. Very easy. And then we're going to be picking up players during the year when people get injured. Remember how many people we had on the injured reserve list? We had like 15 people into the injured reserve list.
It's ridiculous.
And then our practice squad was just stacked with people. So they're going to continue just stacking players. They don't care. Yeah. And then they can make some decisions as it progresses moving forward, right? So, anyways, again, it's. I kind of think of it like Madden. Like a good Madden player is what, 95 to 100, something like that, right?
That's
amazing.
That's an elite player for sure. Yeah,
correct. Yeah. So I don't think we're getting elite players, especially in free agency. What we're going to get is we're going to get like the 85s, the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Maybe
a very good player, player, not the best.
Right. Well, I mean, look, if we can fill a whole squad of 80. 80 plus, 85 plus, the life is great, because if our depth is that much, like we just, everything is, we got a bunch of I would say golden players that have those gold star players. And, that would be fantastic. I think that'd be awesome. Of course, you do need those elite players. We have the elite quarterback, I believe. Yep. We got elite safety, Derwin James, we got an elite edge rusher with Khalil Mack. Yeah. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Look at that. Anthony, our O-line, 1,633 pounds. Woo!
Oh, yeah. Yeesh.
Wow.
Look at that.
That is gigantic. Now, we're going to talk about Mekhi Becton as well, too. So I know he's a big part of the conversation.
Yes, sir.
Up, guys. Good to see everybody here, man. Yep. We already got almost 100 people in the chat here, guys. Throw your thoughts out as well, too. Look, what would you grade this free agency so far? I'm giving it an A. Kyle, what do you give it?
I do admit I'm still in a little panicky mode. Still, there are still some holes and some gaps that I think we need to fill.
Yes.
But I'm giving it a solid B right now. Yeah, the solid B. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's what Brian says. A B. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A minus. Carlos B minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I get it. We all want the splashy player. We want the new blinky lights, yada, yada. But the problem is they come with a lot of problems. A good example, look at Joey Bosa. We signed Joey Bosa to such a fat contract. Mm-hmm. He did not perform his contract. We had to let him go. Sure. I get the impression we're going to get a lot of these one-year contract deals. And then if they don't sign again, great. They walk away, we get a comp pick. And that gives us more bites at the apple in the draft. That seems like it's going to be the big way moving forward, right? I just, there you go. Roland's best. Moneyball, getting good players. I agree 100%. In fact, I think Mekhi Becton probably could have got more money somewhere else, but I think he wanted to come here because he knew what we were going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, he definitely knew and understood what the Harbaugh offense was going to be like. So he's like, all right, well, he made a big old thing over there, and a big splash in Philadelphia, and now he's ready to come over here and do it again. It's interesting too, because he kind of revived his own career because by switching to that position of guard, and that actually made him fall back in love with everything again. He's an awesome storyline for the entire NFL sports world. So I'm excited to bring him home over here to LA. And that would be freaking-tastic. So, yeah. Pablo's saying C+. Ooh, there you go.
C+.
Oh, Miguel's saying, that's a blue chew right there.
Yeah. That's a penis. That's a penis. Miguel, come on, Miguel. Miguel,
my buttons,
this is a family show, Miguel.
Yeah, my buttons ain't working so well. So, but I don't have that one anymore. Yeah. Wait, no, I do. Here. Oh no, it didn't work. Sorry. Yeah, it didn't. Yeah.
Oh, Miguel, terrible. All right, so we did sign Mekhi Becton, and I'll tell you right now, should we call him? We need to come up with a nickname. I'm thinking Juggernaut. I'm thinking, Kingpin, something like that. I don't know. He is gigantic.
Could be Kingpin, yeah, because homeboy was it Michael Clark Duncan was the Kingpin. And that one. So yeah. So and he's big. He's a big old boy.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He big. Hey, what's up? We got ourselves our
John G. Here we go.
$5 make you holla. There you go.
Yeah, at Hernandez, it'd be expensive. And I like Goddard over Andrews. Yeah, I Goddard over Andrews. I would agree with too. But there's a lot of good tight ends in the draft as well too. Having said that, I don't think the Chargers want to go into the draft saying we have to get a tight end, we have to get a receiver,
right?
Get a running back. They want to have a team together. They feel comfortable going day one into. And then they want to get the depth within the draft. And then they can now play, a veteran or whatever, right? But look, I still think, there's still players they could go get. Again, I truly believe that this is getting a good veteran, and then you could have a young player move forward.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a great way to put it, is that we need to fill all those positions with veteran players. But then that way we're like ready for the draft to be like, hey, best available player. Okay. We already have, we already have Andrews or Hernandez as tight end. Best available player is a tight end. It could be Loveland. All right, get him.
Yep.
Then we already have Najee Harris. Best available player is Gene T. Get him. That's just it would be no brainer at that point.
Yeah.
And especially, I kind of talked a little bit about that as well. It's like, look, at pick 22, it's basically a crapshoot who's available at that point. We have no idea who's going to be available at 22. And so that's why, if you can go into this draft with that mindset that, it's whoever's there is you're getting, that's it. And that's all, baby.
Yeah. Chargers need to have a long-term center. Yep. I will say this too. Yeah. That's a little hard too, because this is a really weak draft class for centers.
Yes.
Having said that, there's also not a lot in free agency as well too. I know that guy from the Raiders.
There's a guy from
Adams. Is it Adams?
I think he might be.
Patriots as well too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But let's talk about Mekhi Becton real quick. We'll go through his numbers real quick as well too. I mean, this guy, this dude, he's young too, man. I mean, he's not an old guy, man. By the way,
yeah.
Again, remember what Harbaugh said. If he could put all tackles on the line, he would. This guy was a tackle.
Yep.
Moved to guard.
Yep.
And he had a great season, right? And so this is him next to Trey Pipkins. Oh, let's get the crayon out, huh?
What's up? We busted the crayon out.
Oh, here we go. Overall grade. Now, so here's the thing. The overall grade. Look at this. Much better. Oh boy.
You're a little rusty. You're a little rusty.
Yeah, a little rusty on that one.
You got to keep it in the lines there, bro.
Golly, dude, what's going on here, man? Jeez. So I got this damn thing in the way. I got my speaker in the way. I got to hear myself talk. You know what I mean?
I know you like to hear yourself talk.
Exactly. But his pass blocking grade was not the. I mean, this was good, but I mean, obviously, way better than Pipkins. And overall grade, way better than Pipkins. Run blocking grade, better than Pipkins. I mean, pretty much everything is better. Here's the question. Here's the question I have. Does Mekhi take the right side like he played last year with the Eagles, or does he go to the left side and then Trey stays on the right side?
Well, I would say this though too is that kind of also depends on if Zion Johnson's going to take center snaps.
Correct.
Because he would be. Because he's been left guard, and so if he moves over to center, then what do we do with that left guard situation? Like, are we going to have Becton on left guard, or are we going to have Jamari Sawyer at left guard?
That's exactly right.
And maybe have Pipkins as a backup, because I believe that Harbaugh wants to keep Pipkins because he has tackle experience. Because Harbaugh loves tackles. He likes how big they are. He likes how physical they are. And Pipkins, he can get better at that guard position. Obviously, if we need the money, we can cut him, but if we don't, then we shouldn't. Because consistency is critical.
Pipkins ain't easy.
That's right. Pipkins ain't easy, baby. That's right.
Yeah. Well, but again, the one thing I will also say, I'll just make a blanket statement.
Hang on a sec, guys. We have I think we have we've got a good question here from Grandizer real quick, and I think we'll have our special guest answer this one right away.
Okay.
Andrew, right now, did you say which signing is your most favorite? And he loves the Becton signing. For me, I think Mike Williams is my favorite signing. What do you say? And then we'll bring in our special guest, and then we'll have him answer.
For me, it's Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris is incredible. Guy's never missed a single game in the NFL, and
Over 1,000 yards.
Yep, completely consistent, and that's exactly what J.K. Dobbins didn't offer us. Now, I will say this: J.K. hasn't signed anywhere yet, I don't believe. So I'm still hopeful that we get him back. Right? He's probably wanting to bring him back in, but we'll see.
All right,
let's bring a special guest in.
So introducing, I can't do a drum roll. Actually, wait, I think you can right here.
Here, I can do one right here.
Oh, that's the wrong drum roll. That's the wrong drum roll.
Oh, that is the wrong drum roll. Oh gosh, our speakers are terrible.
Cheer on.
There we go.
We got the director with us.
Kia ora. See if I can. There we go.
Yeah. Perfect.
We'll center a little bit right here.
I love it. The director's in the house.
There you
go.
By the way, there you go. A little bit more space there. Yeah.
There we go. We are
not
actually
picking up your guys' audio on the app thing. Let me see if I can pull you up on YouTube and get you live here.
Oh, okay. No, it's behind on YouTube. So which you might. Okay, hang on a sec. He'll he's just gonna hang out for a second. But we got the director here in the chat. He needs to fix the audio and stuff. But we'll be all right though. So, but yeah.
Hey. Everyone's all excited.
Yeah, everyone's
we paid him top dollar to come here, guys. So please be happy. This cost us a pretty penny and almost a year's worth of salary here to have the director. So we're excited.
Nice.
Well, we have arrived. This almost feels like an episode of Family Guy where like slap the table when you get to this certain part so that we can, sync up the audio. But I heard your guys' question right before the stream went live. So I'm going to say that real quick while I'm sorting out the audio. My favorite signing so far definitely has to be Mekhi Becton, just as the questionnaire suggested as well. Simply because, honestly, you take a look at what the Chargers fandom was worried about, what had caused us so much anxiety and stress. I feel like it all stemmed from what lost us that AFC West or AFC wild card game, which I think a lot of us would agree was that interior offensive line. So the fact that we finally got a piece to address that issue makes me as a fan feel a whole lot better.
Yeah. 100%. That's a great comment. Yeah,
now I'm going to fix the audio.
You need to listen to our cheesy jokes. They're extremely cheesy. So, and very important.
That's right.
But we were just reviewing the stats director as well of the Mekhi Becton versus Trey Pipkins. Mm-hmm. But look, bottom line, Becton 100 times better. Now, again, the argument could be made that he's kind of a one-hit wonder. This is his 1 year where he's been good. Up until this point, he's been a little bit of a bust. Might be why the Eagles didn't decide to sign him again, which kind of shocked me. But look, at the end of the day, it's great having him here. So, I'm excited because he's pretty nasty, man. He could be really, really nasty.
Right.
So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be good for us for sure. I mean, like you're saying, that's a massive improvement going from Trey Pipkins to Mekhi Becton because
100%.
So we'll see that instantly. And that's exactly what we've talked about before is like when you get a player, you want them to be ready to hit the ground running. An instant improvement, day one starters and stuff like that. So
there you go.
No problem. Yeah. He's gonna be right back there for a sec. So he probably has to restart his computer. But yeah, sorry. It just little technical issues. Like, look, and here's the crazy thing too. So like, honestly, I talked to the director early on Monday, about not about like actually like coming to this show on Sunday or whatever, but about because I know he had his computer issues last week or earlier this week and stuff. And I said, hey, if you need to record anything, you're more than welcome to come over to my house and shoot some stuff or whatever like that. Because obviously it was free agency week. They didn't want him to have like any downtime on this stuff. But even last night I had computer issues with mine. Like apparently I had a massive virus on my machine. Like your windows were popping up like crazy and stuff like that. So I had to do a whole bunch of stuff as well. So like I totally get the computer issue stuff.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't have any kind of issues. Anyways, let's continue. So, do we see Pipkins getting cut? Potentially. Look, here's the thing. I don't know though. Like, you might just, if Zion takes over center, you could just move Pipkins to the left side, and you got 4 tackles on the line, just big, beefy dudes. And I like Zion as a center, man. I just think he's more athletic. He's super strong, super physical. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Now, I will say this: it is going to boil down to what happens at camp. They're going to have to decide what's going on with that. So I like that. Bozeman or Zion, not the answer at center, but it's Slim Pickens. Hey, wow.
All right.
Nice little play on words there.
Okay,
Like
he just told me in the behind the scenes that he got it working now, so we're good to go.
Good to go. Good to go. Awesome.
So he can hear our
Yes, I can.
he can hear our cheesy jokes now. Yeah.
Forever.
Oh, Firefox. Yeah. Hey, well, I was gonna take your card away if you started using Edge or something like that. Hang on a second.
Don't use Edge.
Deal.
Yeah.
Now we're just going to go through all the signings. We don't have to have a super long conversation with each person, but we can just kind of give our general thoughts on our.
I'm ready to go 90 minutes on J.K. Scott. I don't know about you guys.
I know. I was going to say, it's like, I forgot about J.K. Scott. He's my favorite signing of this free agency period.
Yes. We all like kickers. Special teams is super exciting to talk about. It's
very
amazing.
exciting, guys. Yeah.
Before we jump into it, I want to tell you guys while we were a little bit late to the show, just as we're getting things set up, we got the cameras on and the lights on and everything.
Mm-hmm.
My son pokes his head into the studio. He says, "Hey, Dad." I was like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" He's like, "Hey, don't be mad, but when I was getting the milk out of the fridge, I spilled the syrup, and it is everywhere." And I was like,
no.
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna go take care of that real quick and jump on the GoPros.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Oh, here we go. We got a question from the director here. Director, who's your least favorite signing here? Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
My least favorite signing? That's a tough question.
That's that's not a great question, in a lot of ways because we love all of our players and stuff like that, Yeah. I get it.
Just for the simple fact of it's caused so much mayhem throughout the fandom. I'm gonna lightly mention Bradley Bozeman with a condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we go out and we draft Jared Wilson or Tate Ratledge or something, then whatever. We got ourselves, between him and Zion and everybody, we got the depth. But if there's not much movement besides that and the potential of Zion moving, then feeling a little, incomplete there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that is kind of like the thought that I had too, is because Bozeman is something that a lot of us were like, oh, we need a better, a long-term center and stuff. And a lot of people just don't believe that he's the guy for us long-term. So that does make it, questionable for all of us on the sidelines. But hey, obviously the coaches, he sees something about him. And so that's kind of why I'm like, I think we're good with him though, Yeah.
Well, and
maybe as a backup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even on my own Madden Super Bowl run that I'm doing right now, I re-signed him as a backup, So, but I did go out and make a splashy move, and I picked up Ryan Kelly as center. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, the one thing about him too is he did play guard as well too, so he could be a guy that could play the different positions. And they are going to move all these guys up and down the line. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in camp. I think it's going to be figured out then. So. Yeah, everyone's saying Bozeman. Some people said Rager. It's funny. Yeah. The Chargers must love him, dude. I don't know what the situation is with him, but he's got the speed. But yeah, anyways, pretty interesting. But we got Taylor Heinicke. He's back this year, and I wasn't sure if we were going to re-sign him. What are you guys' thoughts on him? I mean, we haven't seen much of him. But arguably, he's one of the best backups in the league right now. Most players want to play, obviously, so they don't want to sign as a backup. But Taylor, look, I think he's a good guy to have. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on him? And do we draft a quarterback in the 7th round or 6th round potentially for our third QB?
Well, I would say that we probably don't need to now after re-signing, Heinicke. Let's push that down another year. I think Heinicke, with the money he's being paid, it's all fair. It's all fine. We know what he is. Keeps us, in the conversation if we do need QB2 at any point in the season. And he provides exactly what we need. He's got the experience. He's got the skill set, especially in terms of mobility that you're kind of adding to the flavor of a Justin Herbert and improvisation. I feel good about Taylor Heinicke. I think it's a fine signing.
Yeah. No,
Me too.
it's good. It's better. Like he's definitely shown that he was a better one than Easton Stick. I mean, look, I like Easton Stick, and he did good for a while, but and he kind of helped Justin Herbert kind of learn plays, and he was good for like the practicing as the opposing team quarterback, whatever.
We
But
didn't get to see him in the preseason last year either. So wait
Yeah.
until
That is true. That is true.
We'll be more
Exactly.
excited about Heineke QB2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, well, and that's kind of the interesting thing. It's like I think Heineke is a good pickup for us to keep him around for a few more years. But do we need another quarterback from the draft to use a pick? Probably not. I would say if we find a quarterback, we should get him undrafted. In that mad dash, if we can find somebody there that's just that wasn't picked up anywhere. But I wouldn't want to use a draft pick for quarterback specifically.
Yeah, I think we'll see how it plays out. I mean, it is kind of nice to have 3. Again, I think I really don't know that we need a third one just because we've got Justin Herbert, who's been freaking nails, right? I mean, the guy's playing on busted ankles, busted feet. He's still out there playing, broken ribs, so he wants to play. So yeah. I mean, unless he breaks something. But again, I think one guy that's I would say this guy's my underrated favorite pick because I just think he's a great player, right? He's a stud dude. He's a good tight end. Again, he's a great blocker. He's exactly what Greg Roman wants. Not a sexy pick in any way, shape, or form, but he's a good pick that you need. I think of him as an extra offensive lineman. It's how I look at him as well. So that's kind of how I view him.
Yeah,
we were gonna need tight end 3. I feel like the Will Dissly tight end 2 narrative needs more support. We need to go get another guy to roll into your vertical tight end position. But Tucker Fisk, fine option at tight end 3, but only at tight end 3. Please, we gotta go get a guy at the top, man.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel says not as sexy as me though. Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. And again, we picked him up mid-year from the Falcons off of the practice squad. So he was a waiver wire pickup, which is great. So
I think we actually picked him up specifically because Daredevil Reborn it just came out. We picked him up for the the Hollywood press there. So we got the Kingpin already on the team, so we can't use Kingpin for Becton as his nickname because we already got him here. So
I just binged half of season 2 last night. I'm on my way to Reborn. Nice. We'll get there. Yeah.
It's good so far. Yeah. So
So Bradley Bozeman,
we'll have to chat off screen about all that stuff later. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I need to get into that. But Bradley Bozeman, I'll tell you what, he got that button gut, dude. This is Meatloaf right here. Oh, it's a really bad looking Meatloaf. You get it.
I thought. Oh, okay, wait.
Well, that looks like Meatloaf.
Is that what it is? Instead of a 6-pack, it's a meatloaf. Is that what you're saying?
dangerous territory here, Andrew.
Or a keg, not a 6-pack. It's a keg.
Yeah, that's a keg. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah.
A keg pack right here, and then a little spout, But look, here's the thing. I know he's not a sexy pick. Everyone's going to sit back and be like, oh, man, he sucks. But look, at the end of the day, you need depth. People get injured, especially in the NFL. You know that. So, look, he played every game. You can argue he didn't play great every game, but he didn't get hurt. He was out there. He was trying. He was getting better. And I would argue he's gotten a little bit better at the end of the season. Granted, not the Houston game for sure. But at the end of the day, our offensive line in general was abysmal for that Houston game. So anyways, just my general take on him. A barrel. A whiskey barrel.
Yeah. Nice.
So,
but he's a great backup for us, though. I hope that we might find somebody in the thing. But director, what do you think? Are we going to go? Do you think we're going to go for any one of those other centers that have just been released by other teams at all? Or what's your take on that?
I think it's a good possibility. I mean, I think all of the situations are a little up in the air, or Andrews. I feel like the whole situation behind, is he going to play? Is he going to retire? Leaves it up in the air. Garrett Bradbury, maybe not the best fit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's got quite the power that we're looking for to block for a Najee Harris. The one guy I think that a lot of us might get on board with is Andre James. I think that could work, as a stopgap guy. But at this point, I'm kind of looking towards the draft to fill that, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel that it's almost necessary at this point, given the options available. You know, Tate Ratledge, Jared Wilson, these guys, and then is it Mayers from the Texas? Yeah, I think these are all options that I feel okay about, and maybe offer more upside than any of the potential free agents at this point.
Yeah, I like that, and I really do. Okay, so Director, maybe we should talk about this. I'll hide Najee for a second. So here's my take on what the go forward strategy with the Chargers is, because I think Najee is a big piece of it. We're going to get decent players in free agency, right? Not going to sign huge splashy players, but we're really going to build in the draft. I think our coaching staff believes they can get good players to great. I mean, look at Tarheeb Still. Look at Cam Hart. Cam Hart was supposed to be a complete project. Nobody thought he would even be a starter anytime soon. Tarheeb was a little bit up in the air, but then again, just grab a few people off waiver wires and be active during the year. Just keep bringing people on. Competitors welcome, so on and so forth. Do you kind of feel the same way about that as far as how we're going to build our team? No big major splashy, free agent signings, and just get a lot of mid-tier good varsity veteran players, and then just build through the draft. What's your take on that?
It pains me as a Madden franchise player to say that exactly this is probably the right way to do it. I'm the kind of guy that feeds off of hype and theory. I love football theory. Like for instance, right now the hot topic is Mark Andrews to the Chargers. Will that trade happen? There's like a deadline coming up, I think tomorrow. That would give us some kind of timeline if that were to be the case, which is exciting to me. But at the same time, I get the way that they're doing things. You look at other teams in the NFL, the Chiefs, the Ravens, who are taking the blueprint from a lot of the successful teams, don't really splash as often as you would want. It doesn't mean they don't. They certainly do, but it's not like a trademark move anymore. And that's the point where you got to really be confident in your GM and your scouts and all the guys in terms of bringing in talent. And last season, I think as a fan, we can all agree that they've earned that trust from us in some way, shape, or form. These guys, like you're mentioning, Tarheeb Still, and very many of the free agents from the Titans and even the Ravens, they all exceeded expectation and value. And I'm sort of expecting the same thing. So it's turned to the free agent marker, I should say the free agent period, from I'm hoping for all these big, splash signings. I'm still hoping for it, but I'm more open to the idea of let's sit back and see what happens, because whoever they sign has the potential to really pop because of this coaching staff, because of their situation, because of the proof of what we've seen in the 2024 season. So I'm kind of about it. It's a little less exciting, but it's a proven working method, which I can get behind.
Exactly correct. I'm even going to talk about one position that I think we could be very chintzy on moving forward if our coaching staff remains the same. And I'll talk about that once we get to the player. But let's go to Najee Harris, because he's my favorite exciting person to talk about. And I'll tell you why. He has not missed a single game in the NFL, right? Mr. Reliable. And that is huge, right? 4 seasons, right? What is it? 71 games or something like that he's played in a row. Just crazy. It was interesting if you listen to his I wouldn't say speech, but his what do they call that?
Press conference.
Presser. Geez. Mild stroke over here today.
I think he's a little starstruck because the directors in the room.
Yeah. No, I think it was a blood clot too. A little blood clot. It's just coming up my about to stroke out. But no,
but remind me, it's Dotson. He's got Dotson here.
Dotson.
Cool. Okay.
but here's my thing about him. It really looked like he only wanted to come play for the Chargers, and he kept talking about the offensive line, how physical they were, and I think he knew it was Jim Harbaugh. Right, he almost got recruited by Harbaugh. He went to Alabama instead, and he knew Harbaugh. And this was a perfect opportunity for go to a team where he knew he could go get that 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards, and I think he also knew we were going to be getting some of these other players as well too. So I just really believe we're going to win the trenches, and then this guy Najee, I think he fits us perfectly, and it makes me wonder: are we really going to go after a running back? I don't know. I'm not early in the draft. I think maybe late in the draft. We'll see, but I don't know. We might get a little chintzy on it. What do you guys think?
I like a little friction here. Okay, I'll counter that a little bit.
I know. I want to
do it. Yeah.
This is great. This is great.
I think the biggest indicator of evidence that we have to support and counter those arguments is the contract. I think Najee Harris wanted to be a Charger. There's obviously going to be teams that would offered him, the more projected $9 million per season at 3 season length. Like that would have been something I'm sure was available to him. But he wanted to come to the Chargers. Yep. I'm sure because of the pre-existing relationships of Jim Harbaugh and the opportunity that he saw happen multiple times throughout the roster of these guys finding new life. You just saw Poona Ford get a nice contract and lots of different Chargers getting extensions with other teams because of how they performed here. Now, my counter is the contract also works in the sense that we probably do get a running back this class. I would be very much so in support of that because of the length. 1 year gives the Chargers an answer this season with the potential of a re-signing next season. Let's be clear on that. Yeah. But it doesn't lock you into Najee Harris past this year. And I feel like this doesn't stop you. And it's probably the reason it was constructed this way. This doesn't stop you from taking best player available. And I have to believe that in this draft class, running back is going to be best player available more than once for the Chargers. Whether it be, early round, which I think you're right, maybe less likely that we go for Murray and Hampton, maybe only Ashton Genty if he's available. But if you're looking at the second round, you got guys like Caleb Johnson and, the Ohio State running backs. I don't know if that stops you from pulling the trigger there. And the fact that you sign Najee Harris doesn't work against you if you want to get that value, because now you got this awesome 1-2 punch, a passing of the torch season for the rookie running back. And the next year you have your guy, in the rookie and or in the year 2 guy at that point, and you can just move forward with him. So I think it's a great contract for Najee to prove himself in a really good situation, and a really good contract for the Chargers where they're not locked in at all. They can do whatever they want. And I'm hoping that running back from this class in particular makes it onto the roster rounds 1 through 4, and we got a guy for the future.
Right. Pappy had a great comment here. It's like, based on our history, we're more than likely going to go offensive line or defensive line in the first round to either help Najee, the run game, help or protect Justin Herbert, or prevent the run game from the other times. But then we'll go for a skill player in the second round. I like this comment a lot. Thank you so much for that, Pappy. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, the 1-year deals are great too, because then it gives players an opportunity to come and prove themselves. And again, Najee can come to a place that he knows he's going to get carries and he can show what he can do. And then he moves on. Look at Poona Ford. He got his bag. How much did he get paid? Was he $10 million a year or something like that? Crazy money.
I think it's 12. It was a 3-year contract, right? Or something.
Was it 12? Oh my God. He got so much money. And so I wouldn't be shocked.
A lot in the film industry too. Kyle, interns and PAs, these are the nice, cheap, effective options to prove your worth. And then maybe you get that contract. It depends on what studio you sign with. But hey, the studio of the Los Angeles Chargers looking very attractive for 1-year deals in free agency this year.
100%. It's like the Chargers could be. This might be a dig at the Chargers a little bit, but the Chargers could be the intern opportunity to enter into the bigger things.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll take those those big players like Mike Williams, like Najee Harris or whatever for 1 year to be able to we're gonna win now with this team, and let's take it all away. Let's do that. I'm down.
If it doesn't work out, he can always get coffee.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
But it's big, because then we get they sign somewhere else and we get a comp pick, and we just keep building in the draft and just keep the cycle keeps moving on. And I think it's great. Again, Mike Williams coming back was awesome. Again, this one was great. I would love to see Keenan come back as well too. I don't know how realistic that is as well.
Fingers crossed.
We're gonna try.
Yeah, we're gonna try. Yeah, that's right.
I would love that. And I think Herbert would like that too. The one thing I will say about Mike Williams, the reason why I like him so much, he's a red zone target for Justin Herbert. He did not have that last year. He just didn't. I mean, I was thinking about that one throw that he threw to Dede in the back when he was getting tackled, and he just whipped it out. And I kept thinking, like, he had to work his butt off to get any touchdowns in the end zone. Just guys were not as open as they had been in the past. someone like a Mike Williams, someone like a Keenan Allen. I just felt like we're a little bit more open, and they had that 50-50 ball type of play. Even Parham. Parham is another great example. Parham was a good guy too. So I like him for the end zone. I think he'll do a great job. For a 1-year deal, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll see if he retires. I kind of hope he doesn't. I'd love to see him come back again.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy. But,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right, though. That was the one thing that we were missing on our receiver core is that guy that could get the 50-50 balls and actually wins those things,
That's where tight end is firmly placed into the conversation as well. You imagine Justin Herbert with his red zone targets he had last year, and then all of a sudden he has Colston Loveland, and he has Mike Williams, and maybe like a Jack Besh or someone else, later around. Like, I feel like you're going to notice a difference. Year one with all those weapons all of a sudden inserted into the offense.
See, and I think that's where I may be going back, and I didn't say this correctly, is that I think we go for a tight end over a running back first. If we don't sign like an Andrews or whatever. The reason being is, again, we already have a great tight end now, or it's going to be running back now, but we need that scoring tight end, that offensive weapon is what we need. Someone to work with Mike Williams and Ladidi and everybody else. So.
And this is a great year to go in on a tight end in the first 2, maybe 3 rounds, right? Outside of that, the depth isn't not quite as good as wide receiver in these other positions. But I would fully expect the Chargers to be like, hey, we know what we're doing. If the Mark Andrews thing doesn't work out, we're all crossing over. But if that doesn't work out, hey, welcome to the team. Hopefully Colston Loveland. If not, Elijah Arroyo is a great option. Harold Fannin is a great option. Like, there's a lot of really, really good vertical tight ends to be found in the first 3 rounds. And I would feel very comfortable with the Chargers' chances at landing one of them.
Yeah, and I think one of the other, I think this is number 1 or maybe number 2 of the underrated signings is Jalen Reagor. The thing about Jalen, though, is he actually has the speed, right? I just think he, just like Quentin, needs to get a little more consistent with the way he plays, right? Holding the ball the right way. There's just little things he needs to focus on. But clearly there's some, they wanted him back. He was signed pretty early, and we'll see how it plays out.
And we're at such an early part of the offseason too that like this could be one of those signings that we see every year where it's like, hey, we need him on the squad, but more so we need him in camp. Let's see if we can build on last year. Can we improve his hands? Can we improve his routes? Can we improve his, can we break the curse? Can we go down to where the curse was born and wherever they shot Indiana Jones for first one and try and break the curse? And if that's the case, great. If not, he may not make it to the 53. Come the season, but I do think you're right. It seems like they like him. We're hoping that we can build on his season last year because he does have the speed, and you want to pair as much of that as you can with Justin Herbert's big arm.
100%.
I would actually be really. I think here's the thing that I would be really pissed off.
Of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, Reagor. Oh, that's good. I would be really upset if they re-signed DJ Chark at this point, though, because that was just like total bust. Like I think he rode the couch the entire year. So So
I'm good.
I'm fine with Reagor being on the team because he actually did contribute a little bit. But DJ Chark, come on, we never even had a Chark attack.
We're all hoping.
We were hoping. Yeah.
Well, but clearly he was doing something wrong, whether it was a locker room issue or not running routes or blocking. Something was going on there. Why he wasn't seeing the field. And Harbaugh talked about it a lot, especially after every game. He's like, well, he's got to play better, and that was kind of it. And so whether he wasn't running the routes properly or maybe not gelling with Herbert, who knows, right? So, so again, so my question, I'm only really showing this is like, I don't quite know why we signed him again, but clearly this coaching staff sees something in him, right? So exactly.
Yes. We love the director too. That's why we wanted to bring him out to you, and
love.
Yeah, it's good, man. We love him. Like that's why he's one of the best in the biz. So yes, we had to bring him on one of these things. Yes,
it's a good point, and he was injured most of the year as well too. Right. So let's switch to defense now. So Elijah Molden,
great,
that's awesome, perfect.
Just, again, he could play cornerback, he could play safety. Hey, there we go. Got the sound effects back. But I mean, look, the one thing I will say about Elijah, the cool thing about him having another great safety is you could let Derwin go in the box and you still have 2 high safety. The lid is covered. So Derwin can go down and just rough up the the quarterback, right? So Derwin could be Derwin, be that kind of that dime, linebacker that just gets after the quarterback or stops the run. It allows more flexibility in the defensive line. You got to have a guy like that. So that's my one takeaway from Elijah.
Perfect.
Correct me if I'm wrong though. Did they move Elijah Molden? Did they list him as a cornerback now? Is he switching over to corner? No.
No, he's still safety, but he can play corner as well.
He'll play plenty of slot when needed. But that ultimate versatility option of Derwin James is why Elijah Molden was such a good move. We talked so much about what was that FSU safety's name a few years back? Like, we got to draft him to get Derwin because obviously there was a comparison there. And that didn't happen. But we all saw the vision. We want Derwin to play X. We want him to play in the box, want to play close to the line of scrimmage. And they finally executed on that this year because of the confidence in Elijah Molden to hold it down wherever he was asked to play. And it worked out great. Obviously we're going to run it back. Let's do it again. Yeah, great signing. I think 10 out of 10. This is an A+ for me. Outside, maybe A because of the injury, but outside of that, he's perfect.
Yeah, and this guy right here, Tierra Tart, I'm so glad we signed him. He did great. He was really high rated as well, too. I think he was 12th or 15th according to PFF from what I saw in defensive lineman. He did great. Probably could have signed somewhere else, but I think he said, you know what, I'm going to do well here, and I got him back. So I'm excited to see him here. So I don't know. Any thoughts on Tierra Tart at this point?
He could be the next Puna Ford for all we know.
Yeah.
No, he saw some great work in rotation last year. He was very effective when he was on the field for the most part, and maybe he takes that step forward this year, and we see that kind of Puna Ford growth that we're going to need in somebody. We got some decent signings. Right? I'm sure. I don't know if you guys already talked about the other DTs that have that potential, but Tierra Tart, he's as ready as anybody, in my opinion, in this particular defense, and with Jesse Minter to take that step forward, and he's already proved that he's got the juice. So let's see what happens.
I think he's a 1-year contract too, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah. Just another 1 year. That's great though. But he was a good re-signing. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, I would love to keep Puna Ford, but Tart is definitely great up there. Like we loved him as soon as we got him previously last year, but because Puna Ford did go, we needed to make sure that we kept at least one of these guys. And Tart, good thing. We'll talk about the rest of the D line in a second here.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Dante Jackson as well too. So let me give you my general take on cornerbacks. I'm going to make the argument is I don't think we really need to really get a solid QB1, and the reason being is I think the way we play zone defense, Dante Jackson fits perfectly with that as well. He is an awesome zone defense corner. I think he had 5 interceptions last year as well too, if I remember correctly. So he's perfect for how we play defense. If that makes sense, the system fit, and these guys, they have an opportunity to shine, and they can go get a bigger bag if they go somewhere else as well too. They know what they're getting with Jesse Minter. They made it really easy to perform, and I think you could skimp on cornerbacks because look at Tarheeb Still, look at Cam Hart. Clearly, these coaches.
Bolton.
Yes, they've done a great job. Anyone who we've thrown in there has done good enough. So I think this. We kind of look at it and say, we don't need to go out and get a Sauce Gardner. We don't need to go out and go get a number one guy that just locks somebody down. You can get away with having an okay cornerback room, and they'll look good because the pass rush is going to be there with the Khalil Mack. I don't know. I just think that's one of those rooms that you could kind of be a little bit chintzy on. And that's an expensive room, by the way. Expensive.
Yeah.
So anyways, my take.
I'm going to interject here. This turned out to me to be not one of my favorite signings, but certainly one that I'm all of a sudden pretty hype about. I think the timing of Dante Jackson, he was a victim of circumstances. We're all waiting to hear that big splash, and it's Dante Jackson. Okay, whatever. Let's go. Let's all wait for the guard or wait for the the tight end or whatever. This, I think, under the radar is going to be a fantastic move for the Chargers this season. Given, go look what he did in Carolina and what he did in Pittsburgh. He really is kind of a specialist in terms of picks and turnovers. He's got what I like to call the spidey sense, right? He's out there and he can feel where the ball is and really capitalize on opportunity, which he saw a good amount of in both of his previous teams. The reason he fits so well on this team is because one, yes, the Jesse Minter effect is very real. Multiple players were elevated in terms of value and talent on this roster.
Number one defense,
especially. But also the Chargers, I feel like defensively, the philosophy behind their defense is to create consistent pressure, which is why we had, the Bud Dupree signing on top of the Joey and on top of the Khalil and Thule. That's an important aspect of the defense for them. And what happens when you have a consistent wave of, fresh and deadly pass rush is it creates opportunities. Quarterbacks mess up. They create problems for themselves. And Dante Jackson is a capitalizer. If you see a mistake, if you see an opportunity, he's going to sniff it out and he's going to punish you for it. And that's why, all of a sudden, after some thought and reflection and watching some of his previous, work on previous teams, I'm all about Dante Jackson on this football team. I think he's going to be a fantastic ad, and I think he has a chance to add some nice numbers to the Chargers turnover ratio this season.
Yeah.
Well,
in fact, how much would we even sign him for? I'm on
cheap.
Very cheap. Very cheap.
He's on.
And here's the reason too is why we had to pick him up, probably because we're more than likely going to let Asante Samuel Jack. I can't even say his name. ASJ is gone. Yeah, more than likely he's gone, and because he wants a big contract, he wants a multiple year, easily 15, 20 mil a year, and that's just not going to happen in the system anymore. We're going for maybe at max 3-year contracts, with a lot of these players. Sure, we'll throw big money at some of the top players, like Justin Herbert, because we want to keep that consistent, but everything else, Dante Jackson was a fantastic pickup for us because we're going to need to replace ASJ, and Asante is probably just not the right size, right scheme for Jesse Minter, but Dante Jackson is, and that's going to be huge.
If you guys haven't watched his highlights recently, I invite you to. This man is fast. You want speed? Dante Jackson is a speed devil. Watch out.
I like it.
And he's good at stopping the run too. Very good at the run, setting the edge. The other guy that we signed as well too is also. But again, I would just say, moving on from the cornerbacks again, I think we could be somewhat chintzy on those positions to some degree, right? Because we have our coaching staff that's solid. I truly believe you can get away with not spending the big bucks, right? You want to spend big bucks on Khalil Mack, your edge rushers, your, guys like that are going to put some pressure on the quarterback. But other than that, you'd be good to go. Yeah, St. Juice is the other guy too. But Khalil Mack, guys, we had to get him back. 18 million guaranteed. What's his actual, I think, let's see. Oh, so he can make 26. Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm sure there's incentives.
Yeah, it's 18 million signing. Oh, yeah, his cap number is 26 million. So, yeah. Pretty much everything that Joey Bosa was giving up, we said, yeah, thank you, Joey. I appreciate you playing for the Chargers. Khalil, would you like the rest of
it?
It
had to happen, though. It had to happen.
I know,
100%. Yes,
Director,
100%.
You and I, we've talked a little bit about that for a while. I'm sure you're feeling a little something about Joey Bosa.
A little something, yeah. I don't know if there's any OGs in particular in here, but man, before I was doing, exclusively Charger stuff, I was a Madden guy. And I declared my undying dedication and love and fandom for Joey Bosa very early. Every single episode, oh my God, it's Joey Bosa! Every single time he got a sack in a Madden game, which was very frequent. Very, very big fan of Joey Bosa. It's certainly extremely sad and disappointed to see him go, but it's something that in the end had to happen, and he took the path walked previous by Sean Merriman going to the Bills. So we'll see how that goes for him. I'm certainly rooting for him and his success in his later years.
However, yes, I'm rooting for his success, but if we meet up in the playoffs, sorry, Bosa, I'm not a fan anymore. So
all bets are off.
Yeah. You're not part of the family anymore, Bosa. if we meet in the playoffs, regular season's fine, but
Yeah, but we'll just talk about Khalil Mack, though. I think bottom line, you had to have him come back because I think he was second or third in the league in pressures, if I remember correctly. He got pressures. Didn't get as many sacks, but he got pressures. And so, to me, that was paramount. Now, again, I think Thule is ready to be that number one, but he'll be able to learn from Mack again. And we're probably going to, I'm assuming we're going to scoop up an edge rusher as well too. Of course, Justin Aboigbe can also play edge as well too. So be interesting to see if he plays a little more edge this season also.
Yeah, 100%.
But another guy that I really love is Denzel Perryman. You know, I just think he's a good locker room guy, good veteran. My question is this his last year? I do wonder. What do you guys think? Think this is last year?
The last San Diego Charger.
Yes,
that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is. He's getting up there.
He's getting up there and he's getting banged up. Yeah. But man, he's such a good player, you know, and he plays with such ferociousness, and he's amazing. So I'm glad they brought him back. But again, he's a good veteran. You could still get a rookie, you know, linebacker, maybe a little later on in the draft, and then bring him up in, you know, slowly, right? But you know, with Denzel,
I think that Denzel is going to do an amazing job at help finishing that transition from what we had previous to the Dan Henley and the Junior Colson. I think there's a good possibility that Colson is the new Henley. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't play much the first season. Of course, maybe circumstance, you know, was the reasoning behind that. But what Denzel Perryman to me right now feels like a really good, you know, option in terms of run defender, you know, physicality at linebacker. But Junior Colson, I do expect to take a pretty big step forward this year. And Perryman's going to be by his side to make sure that happens. So, yeah, great signing. But watch out for that Colson, man. He's coming. He's coming.
Yeah, he's definitely coming in quick for sure. Like, and I'm excited that we have another junior at linebacker position. So
it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. The juniors and Chargers goes hand in hand, you know. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I think the problem with Colson was he was a rookie, came in, appendix, you know, ripped out of his body in camp, never quite got underneath, you know, into the motion. And NFL's faster than it is in college. And so he just never quite got his feet underneath him, I think. And then he was just kind of playing catch up. And, you know, it is what it is, you know, and that's fine. But that's why you have a veteran like a Denzel Perryman. As much as you want this rookie to step up, this is why that the way I view the Chargers building is get a veteran, put a rookie behind him. Let that rookie learn from the veteran, and then they just move into that role eventually, and then you're just rotating players in and out of the team. That's how it works, and it keeps your cap down, and you can keep building in the draft, right? So, you know, that's kind of my take. So, anyways, I love Denzel Perryman. I'm glad he's back, but I do think this is probably his last year. So let's talk about the two defensive tackles, and then I think I have the one more corner. Naquan Jones, this guy is good. He's probably the second. He's probably the third or fourth defensive tackle on this list. I think he did a good job. It wasn't a bad defensive lineman, but the other guy was a much better hand, much better at stopping the run. So this guy's a little bit more of a pressure guy. But I think he's a great depth piece as well, too. Good veteran. And it's a really good draft class also for defensive tackles. Probably going to draft a defensive tackle soon.
Yeah. I think these two moves at defensive tackle, who knows? You might have the next Puna Ford here. I'm putting my money on Tier Tart for that. But really good depth options. Like you said, like both of them pretty good versus the run. Hand definitely very good versus the run. Naquan Jones, he probably plays the Tier Tart role this year. You know, bring him in, you know, every once in a while in rotation and watch him eat. But most certainly the Chargers have to get a defensive tackle from this draft class at this point. You know, maybe a top, 100 pick is what we're looking at this point at DT. And it's a great class to go in on. And when you add that aspect to the room we have now in terms of depth and in terms of, Tart and all these guys, all of a sudden I'm feeling pretty good about that position. So, yeah, two great signings, great depth. Let's finish it off in the draft and feel good at the interior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Naquan's a little bit younger as well, too. So he's, 6'3", 319, and then Deshaun Hand is, I think it's like 300, something like that as well, too. But he came out of the 2018 draft pick by Detroit. But Deshaun Hand, man, he is a run-stopping machine.
Yeah.
That is what his specialty is, right? So he's kind of the Puna. The funny thing is, we were one of the best. If you remember correctly, last year, I think till like maybe the first 5 or 6 games, we were stopping the run amazingly. And then it just kind of got weak towards the end. I think it was depth. you guys agree with me on that? Do you think we just didn't have enough bodies to rotate that weren't fully banged up? I don't know. I felt like
it could be. Yeah, definitely could be.
Because again, these guys are all out there playing hard. They're all hurt the whole time. But at the end of the day, I just kind of felt like we just sort of struggled with that. But anyways. But
Hand's a great option, to keep in your back pocket for those situations too. His play next to Christian Wilkins, right? Back in the day with Miami too. Like those guys were a unit together. You put Deshaun in a position where he can do anything similar. You put him next to, a better rookie or Tart or one of these guys. I think you're going to see similar production. So yeah, he's got great upside.
Yeah, I like him, and I'm a big fan. And then this is a special teams pickup. LeDeshaun Phillips, he's actually a special teams guy. I think he had 1,400 snaps in special teams. Right?
Dang,
he could back all day and say, But again, we lost Nick Neiman. He got a big bag. I think he went to Tennessee. If I remember, no, he went to Houston. So, guy from Houston. We just swapped guys. So 2 special teams aces we just swapped. He's a special teams guy. So he's a pickup for special teams.
Yeah, he's great. Nick Neiman, I think very underrated with Troy Dye. These guys
100%. Yeah.
Very good at what they did. And with losing Nick Neiman, we had to get a replacement. So great signing.
Yeah. And again, guys, it doesn't have to be splashy picks, but going back to my Madden analogy, 80s, 85s, these are depth piece players, right? They're not going to get all the snaps, but a guy goes down, you at least know you can get an 85 player out there rather than having to go get somebody off the waiver wire that's like a 70 or a rookie or somebody that's just not ready to make that jump. These are the depth players that just do the dirty work, right? Troy Dye will most likely just be a special teams guy, just like this guy right here. But again, if we have some injuries at linebacker, then these guys will have to step up and make that.
Special teams still very important. Yeah.
Yeah, special teams is big. Those special teams is the hidden yards that people that doesn't get enough attention. But those extra yards that you can get in special teams and or actually prevent them from getting matter.
What was that year that we were the number 1 offense and defense? What was that year again? 2008. Why did we lose that season again?
Special teams.
Special teams. Yeah. Okay. I think Chargers in particular need to invest special.
How many field goals did we miss all year, and then in the playoffs we ended up losing?
Yeah. No, it's again.
That's a painful memory, director. Sorry. Yeah,
it is. I know. Yeah, that's yeah.
Was it 2013? I think it was 2013. I think he's right.
Something like that. Yeah. Well. But again, that's the whole point about being an all-around team, right? I know we never want to talk about Brandon Staley. We call him BS on this channel, of course. But
Booty Stank is his name.
Booty Stank, that works too. But again, he's talking about all 3 phases of the game, right? That's the whole point, right? You got to be good at all 3. And luckily, we got Dicker the kicker, who's great. But you still got to go get people that can put guys on the ground, and that's what those guys do, right? So they're very important snaps and reps. So we'll finish up with Benjamin Saint. Is it just
Saint Juiced?
J Juiced. There we go. That makes more sense.
All right, you got a juice day.
It's had a good juice. Anyways, I don't know. That was dumb. But anyway, 6'3", 200 pounds. So he's a pretty big dude. I mean, I would like to see a little bit more weight on him, but he does a good job. I mean, pretty good at stopping the run. I think he'll be behind Jackson, but I still think he's going to be a rotational guy. And the statement goes in the NFL, you can never have enough cornerbacks, right? And especially it's a premium position.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good player for what we're paying him. I don't even think we're paying him that much money.
No, we're not.
No,
I think that he's falling into the category for me of like a Jesse Minter experiment. He's got like the lab coat and the crazy white hair, and he's got St. Juice alive, 6'3", 200 pounds alive. Like you want this to work because he's a great weapon. Versus guys, I saw him playing against AJ Brown. I was like, man, he's bigger than AJ Brown. It's hard to do. It's a great, piece to have in your back pocket, and hopefully it works out. But it's not, in my opinion, a detrimental signing if it doesn't work out, because I do expect the Dante Jacksons and the Stills and these other guys to be on the forefront. But hey, if you can get St. Juiced up to speed, and you can get him, producing, that is a dangerous DB to have in your roster with that kind of size.
That's exactly 100%. Correct. Yeah. I mean, I again, depth. You want depth, and we'll see what happens in the draft. The draft's gonna be very fascinating. I mean, I couldn't be more excited for the draft. I mean, 10 picks. We're gonna see a lot of great players here. It's gonna be pretty awesome. I know.
People did ask, and people did ask in the chat, what are the chances of us, trading up or maybe trading down a little bit? I mean, we got some capital that we can use in the draft. Give up another 6th or 7th pick, whatever that, to move up a little bit more. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Director, what do you think?
I think we're sticking and picking.
That's exactly what I think too.
Yeah,
I do not think we're doing it. I don't think we're doing it.
I mean, how many times have we always done our own little mock drafts, and oh no, we should just get more picks in the second round, blah blah blah. It's 22 is so late in the round, anyways. It never happens,
It's been I remember there was a stat floating around I saw a few days ago, but it has been a long time since the Chargers have traded down. Of course, we got a new, GM and these guys in here, or I should say a whole new staff, whole new team in the back end in here now. So who knows? But I feel like the whole compensatory pick formula puts enough picks at the tail end of the draft that you're not really desperate to trade down. Yeah. You're looking for value at that point. You're not really filling positions of need anymore. You're taking the best player available for the most part. So the need to trade down doesn't quite feel like it's there as much anymore with that philosophy. And the trade up, we saw evidence of it last year, so I'm not going to take that away. I don't know if we trade up as early as we did last year, but I would keep that on the table at least. If you have a guy out there that's a difference maker and you have the capital, with all the compensatory picks and stuff to actually make that move and not hurt your capital too much in terms of, total picks, then I say go for it. Ladd McConkey, imagine being the Patriots right now. Oh, how that must sting seeing that Ladd McConkey pick work out. I'm all about moving up. Moving down, I think it's less likely at this point.
Yeah. I agree with that too. And again, the funny thing, and I like to say this over and over again, because if Joe Alt was not there at 5th, guess who the Chargers were going to pick? They were going to get Brian Thomas from the wide receiver that went to Jacksonville, which was crazy to me because he went latter end of the first round.
And they were right.
Yeah. And he did great. So this is my argument with the draft. I think our coaching staff and our scouting staff is that good. They are fine sticking and picking. Unless there's a guy they really have to go get. They might say, all right, well, let's give up a 6 or something to go up and get, someone like a Ladd McConkey. But Ladd McConkey, his degree of separation was ridiculous. And so,
awesome.
Who was that guy?
Awesome.
This year in the wide receiver class, he would probably be top 10, top 15 is what I
he's
keep
a first
hearing
round.
people
He's
say.
a top half first rounder this year for sure.
Yeah. But last year he wasn't because there was a lot of wide receivers. You have Malik Neighbors and all these other guys, right? So
this is the Ravens way.
Yeah. True. Anyway, so no, but it's exciting. I mean, bottom line, I just feel like guys, sky's the limit. Again, I give this an A. I think our free agency has been awesome. This is exactly what I thought we were going to do. I really didn't believe, this is my final thought, guys. I didn't think that we were going to go get, a really splashy wide receiver. Again, Najee Harris to me is a very underrated. I think he was the splashy player we need. We need consistency at that running back position. I'm happy with him. Mekhi Becton's a great one as well too. Keep Justin Herbert upright, and be nasty on the offensive line. It's exactly what we needed to do. And then just build depth. Just get veterans in front. Get people ready to go day one, and then build more depth in the draft with young bloods that are ready to go and got that gas and got that juice in them. You know what I mean? I'm happy. I would like to see a center. I don't think it's going to happen. We'll see. But, I think we'll see how it plays out. But another tight end might be nice, but we'll see how it plays out. But those are my final thoughts. What do you guys think, Director? Or maybe Kyle, and then we'll go.
I'll do it. We'll have Director. We'll leave the Director to the last.
He'll have the final word. He'll have the final word.
Well, you get, like you said at the beginning of this, is that the first couple of days of the free agency, I was slamming that panic button. I was no. I was like,
Kyle's hair was on fire. He was pissed.
I called you and I talked to you. I was like,
so angry.
I was like, my blood pressure was up.
Man.
You heard the nervousness in my language, whatever.
People were freaked out. I didn't
know. A lot of people were. Yeah,
I was definitely right there with him about everything, because I was like, oh man, what are we doing? What is going on? Fortunately, I calmed down enough by the time I was doing my stream on Wednesday, and I was like, all right, yeah, we good. Let's just relax a little bit, like everything. But like I'm still giving our current draft a B. It was just a solid B right now. Like I'm giving it, so I would say an 85 out of 100. Personally, just just because I don't know what's gonna happen because of all this stuff. Like I do admit that what kind of calmed me down is the realization is like, hey, listen, we've done the big splashy like pickups before with JC Jackson, bring up some sore memories with Mike Williams, with Keenan Allen, with Joey Bosa, with Khalil Mack, and we weren't able to win by spending half of our budget on those five players, and now with Justin Herbert and stuff like that, so I feel like now I really like the idea that we're now going for these 80, 85, potentially high 80s or type veteran players on short-term contracts, so we're not spending all this money, but we're building depth. That's the biggest thing. I've always said I'd much rather have 3 players at $10 million a year as opposed to 1 player at $30 million a year. And that's what excites me. So maybe I'm just talking myself up to going to more of a B+ on our draft so far because of all that stuff. But
we got upgraded, huh? Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll just upgrade it a little bit.
All right. We'll take it.
But it's exciting. Obviously, like as far as the draft goes, I think we're ready for it now because the best thing is that we're more than likely going to be sticking and picking, and it's just going to be best available player. I don't see this front office being like, no, we have to get this guy, so let's move up and get him. I think it's more so who's available at 22. Let's just go with that. Hey, Constellation Pegasus, what's up, my man? How are you? Playoffs this year? Yes, we hell yeah, we talk about playoffs this year. Let's go.
So I still think
it's always in my chat. I have to do this because every time I see his name for the last 6 months, I've been saying Constellation Pegasus.
Yeah, there we go.
Do you believe in the heart of the cards, Pegasus? Thank you, Pegasus. $20 holla and playoffs this year.
What's up.
Let's go.
Hey, that's awesome.
I think we at least go 11-6 this year as well.
Again?
Yeah, I think so. At least 11-6
in this division. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be huge.
That's playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
playoffs.
I truly believe we're just going to get better at this point. I mean, again, knock on wood, long as we stay healthy. But yes, I think playoffs. So, director, final thoughts. Special guest.
Well, so my rating, right? My rating of the offseason, my letter grade.
Yeah.
Let's see. What the director, the Mr. Shamelessly Optimistic, starry eyes and blue skies and sunshine. What is the director going to say? My grade right now, my letter grade for the offseason, I'm going to give it a C+. I think, but this is with the expectation of it ending around B+, because there is a new way of doing things, but I also have to acknowledge that we're not done yet, right? There's still some big moves and some big holes that the Chargers need to accomplish before the draft. Lesser, because, the Mark Andrews narrative, exciting. I hope it happens. I don't know if I expect it to happen, but I hope it happens. But more so, the smaller signings that we've been seeing, we just need more of that right now. Yeah. We need another interior offensive lineman. Go get Will Hernandez, get one of the other, guards out there to add more depth, to give more freedom to Zion Johnson to move to center if we wanted to do that. Go get, maybe another wide receiver if you feel like you want more competition in camp. Get, Keenan Allen, get a tight end for Christ's sake. We need at least something in there to put in place before the draft, so we're not pigeonholed every round and okay, now we have to get tight end, and we have to get DT, or we have to get center. I want the option to be flexible, and as it stands right now, I will say this: before Mekhi Becton, my grade was like a D+. It was
really
it was pretty bad, because that was the one position that killed us in the wild card.
True.
We didn't do anything up to that point. Now with Mekhi Becton on the roster, full letter grade for me. big signing. That's awesome. It's going to really help what we're trying to accomplish in the run and in pass pro and all that kind of stuff. But that was a huge move and a very, well-deserved move, but we have more work to do. And I do expect it to get done. I don't think we're going to sit on our hands, until the draft, but until then, C+, but I do fully expect us to end in like the B+ territory, which is definitely good going into the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of with you on that one too. Is like, I mean, after the Becton one, that's when it really jumped up a lot for me because like that was a massive need in getting something on the offensive line, and they just weren't. There was no moves on it. That's kind of where I was panicking a lot too. I mean, obviously with wide receivers, like I think I started to really calm down after we got Mike Williams, I think too. So that was a big one for me as well.
Mike Williams was a huge get. I think people are underrating how big that's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are dismissing, in my opinion, the chemistry, the pre-existing relationship between him and Justin Herbert. That's going to come into play here. But the interior offensive line, again, if this works out anywhere near to what the Eagles got, you get 80%, 75% of what the Eagles got in Becton. This is going to be a really fun year to watch the run game. Najee behind Becton and all. Are you kidding me? It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. It's going to be rough. Yeah, they're gonna roughhouse people. Another one from Constellation Pegasus. Don't feel.
No, you got to say it right.
Constellation Pegasus.
Pegasus. $10 holla.
Don't feel good seeing Keenan Allen come back if he does. Again, I will say this: if you listen to Mike Williams' presser, he did say he didn't want to say he was talking to Keenan Allen. But he'd been talking to Keenan Allen, so we'll see what happens. Look, we'll see what happens. I mean, I would love to see him come back. It'd be amazing.
I mean,
all I'm saying is that when I was a teenager, right, I had all of these dreams of, working in movies and stuff like that. And until my best friend called me and said, "Hey, I just got a job at FYE." And I was like, "Okay, buddy, I'll be right there. Let's have a good time because we're spending the whole summer together anyway. Might as well go work over the summer together too." Yeah, best friends. That's certainly going to make a dent in a decision there. And those guys are together 24/7.
Yes, they are. Yes. That's a great point, right? You want to play with people you like playing with, and that's a big part of it, right? And I think that's partially where Justin Herbert had some hard times this last season. He didn't have Allen, he didn't have Williams. Those were guys he was with a long time. So Anyway, so we'll see how it plays out. But Director, thank you so much for hopping on. We really appreciate it. You're the man. And by the way, love having you on. And again, we're all in Utah. We're the Utah boys right here. Right?
Oh,
go Cougs, I think, right?
Yeah, go Cougs. That's right. Go Cougs. Yeah.
Go Bees. Go Salt Lake Bees for baseball.
Go Bees. hey, go with that hockey club all of a sudden too, right?
Hey.
That Washington football team energy and the branding right now, but we'll get there. Are we
There
going
we
to
go.
be the
There we
Yetis?
go.
Are we
There
going
we
to be
go.
the Mammoths? Who knows? But let's go.
Yeah.
NHL.
Real quick, what do you think? Do you like the Yetis? Do you like the Outlaws? Do you like
Honestly, just because it's so far out there, like I was like, how is this in the top 5 contention names? Let's do it. It's weird. The Utah Venom, for whatever reason, it's just so sick. I know it's
Super
bee venom and all that,
outside.
but that sounds it's weird, and I like that. Weird. Give me the Utah Venom.
It would definitely be a divergence from the prior team names in Utah.
Oh, I would go full symbiote, baby. I would have a whole brand ready.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
The Hawk Club, Miguel.
And let's do it. The Hawk Duo, gosh. And let's do that. Actually, let's set a time for all of us three to go to one of those hockey games or something like that.
We need to go.
Oh,
I'm
to.
down.
I wanted to this year too.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We're
lucky to have him.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah,
we are.
So, because I'll admit, I'm more interested in hockey than I am basketball. Yeah, the Jazz has been here for a long time, but I would much rather go to a hockey game than a basketball game for whatever reason. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm trying to find interest in hockey just simply because of the team here and now. But honestly, I don't really watch unless I'm at the games. Both Jazz and Utah Hockey Club, like whatever. But if I'm there, if I can have a hot dog, and some
nachos,
and good vibes. Yeah, I'm totally down. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, again, Director, thank you so much for hopping on. Really appreciate you. And thank you guys. Bolt up, guys. This is going to be an amazing season. I could not be more optimistic. I'm very happy. I'm more optimistic than everyone, I guess, is as well. I give it an A. I think it's exactly what I expected for the free agent market. But we'll see how the draft goes. I think I'm more excited for the draft So I think we're going to get more splashy players. It's going to be very exciting. So
the draft is where it's at if you're a Chargers fan for the whole Joe Ortiz era. That is where it's at.
Yep. He knows what he's doing. Like they clearly know how to find talent, and they found talent all through the season as well too. Again, Tucker Fisk, Marcus May, all these guys they scooped up during the year and actually were able to come in and do some things for us. So it's very exciting. So, all righty, guys, we're the Bolt Bros and the director. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
Did I say it?
Hey,
both
how about
and stay frosty.
Yeah, that's it. Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching the Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night.